Plants vs. Zombies. A game so good it'd be surprising if it didn't have countless knockoffs. It's always weird to me how easily these games get away with it too. Some guys made 9 Plants vs. Goblins games, and they're all just up on the App Store, available to play for anyone desperate enough to download it. And today, I'm feeling pretty desperate. I've never played a single Plants vs. Zombies knockoff before, but I've heard there's a lot, so I went through and found as many as I could. They range from copying the gameplay of Plants vs. Zombies to stealing the characters to, whatever the hell I'm looking at here. I don't even know myself what we're about to get into, but I do know this. In most of my videos, I try to find the best games and rank them from my favorite to least favorite, but there is no chance that any of these knockouts are going to be good. I can't ask the question, is Flower Zombie War better than PvZ? Because I'm not going to be fooling anyone. Let's try to find out what the worst game is today, and crown them the knockoff king by the end. So without further ado, let's jump into this Plants vs. Zombies knockoffs deep dive, and honestly, I'm just hoping after all this torture, I freaking survive. Let's begin with Plants Battle 2. What happened to Plants Battle 1, you ask? Not really sure what you mean. Are you talking about Animals Battle? Because that's a good one too, I'll check that out in a second. So what makes Plants Battle 2 stand out from any old PvZ game? Well, the background has this really great filter put on it, the lawnmowers are green now, and look at these fun new plant and zombie designs. Now I'm starting to see the appeal. I'm tired of the old sunflowers and pea shooters. I want pink flowers and corn shooters for a change. I'm sick of the fun concepts they came up with, like a walnut acting as a wall for defense. No, let's replace that idea with a tree? Is it literally just a tree? Alright, I can't pretend to like this anymore. Let's dig into this shitty shit. The background could not be more blatantly stolen. And yeah, they actually went through and made new plant designs, but they still just copied exactly what the plants already did. Snow peas are a thing, but snow corn is nothing. But the funniest parts of these ripoff games are the grammar errors. Every single time the game said a big wave coming, I brought a smile to my face. I was fully prepared to just sit and play the whole game from start to finish for you guys. All 40 damn levels. But you can actually just scroll through the list of levels and pick whatever one you want. And it gives you all the plants too, so you don't even need to unlock them. They didn't include all the plants, but there's a lot more here than I expected. I thought I brought in cactus, but it was actually a 3-peater clone. The pears animations are certainly something, and this last level is hard. I actually lost. I love that you can keep watching if you want though, the game will just continue to play out if you let it. Let's move to Animals Battle, which I have a strong suspicion will be the exact same game, but with some animals now. Is anyone shocked I was 100% correct? Down to a big wave coming and everything? Even the music is the same. The zombies aren't different at all. Now I suppose there's an argument to be made that the animal designs and concepts are more interesting than the plants. They actually had to put some thought into these, making the mushrooms one-eyed bats takes effort. So, I don't know, maybe Animals Battle is better, but who cares really? These are the same game with a strange level of dedication at times. They put in the effort to make night stages, but couldn't be bothered by the roof or pool stuff. The plants do all the same stuff, but none of them are the same plant they were originally. There's enough quality here that I can safely say this ripoff will not be the worst game we play today, but it's the first on the list, so let's get some competition in here. Next, let's try a new definition for ripoffs, where the characters are stolen for a PvZ Cafe Simulator, the exact opposite of Plants Battle 2, where the gameplay is something completely new, but with a PvZ coat of paint slapped on top of it. You start out with a pretty sad pea and corn taco. These zombies will eat anything apparently, that sounds awful. As you play, you'll earn money to buy more and more ingredients, so soon enough you'll have butter and lettuce too. A pea, corn, butter, lettuce taco still sounds pretty bad, but the zombies are eating this shit up. After that, you can get additional sides, like the second I got garlic, literally every zombie was asking for it. And eventually, you can earn a shake machine and get some smaller upgrade plants, and it's all very cute and on theme. A fume shroom blender is really funny. Sometimes imps or bungee zombies will come to mess you up, or zombies will ask for a taco without one of the ingredients, and you don't ever serve the Yeti zombie because he's a goddamn dine and dasher. I'm actually gonna call the police on that guy if he shows his face around here again. I know I'm saying a lot of positive things, and that's because I had deathly low hopes for this stupid cafe game, but I think what it is that I just like games like this. It's completely mindless, and there's basically no challenge or point to buying all the upgrades, but I just got addicted to doing it. I really wanted to show off in this video that I had the decked out cafe after like an hour of playing. Plus, we're going to be playing a lot of really poorly made tower defense games in this video, so it's just nice to have gotten a break to play this instead. By changing the date on my computer, I earned all the daily reward money to unlock everything, and it said Zomboss would show up if I did, so I tried to find him for 3 extra rounds and he never came. He never came. Besides being abandoned, I had a blast, which means Plants Battle 2 is still our worst knockoff so far. I'll warn you right now, this section might get a little long. Feel free to skip if you don't like it, but like I said in the intro, Plants vs. Goblins has 9 entries in the series. Or at least, from the names of the games, it would seem that way. But on the Apple App Store, for some reason, they're missing 3 of the games. Why did we skip from PvZ 7 to PvZ 9? Now I gotta try to emulate some of the games and play some of the others on my phone. But obviously, I am not going to be playing these from start to finish. 9 games? Are you kidding me? I'll give each of them a try and see why the hell there's so many games in this series. So we start with the classic, the OG PvZ. There's not even a menu, this game is all about the action. And the first set of levels are pretty familiar, unlocking this game's pea shooter and sunflower and all that. I don't know the names of these things because they don't tell you their names. The pea shooter looks like he's ripped straight out of Garten of Banban though. And it's so awesome that the goblins are just in a completely different and much clearer design than the plants. And who could forget that Angry Birds font? Anyways, these levels all play out exactly how you expect. Except, it makes the one fatal mistake almost all PvZ ripoffs make. Goblins spawn in based on a timer, and has absolutely nothing to do with how many goblins you have or haven't killed. So you're just sitting around and waiting for goblins to spawn in for most of your playtime. Surprisingly, this game has varying biomes, like a desert for the second area. I was not expecting that level of commitment in a game that looks like this. And these plant designs, these are plants, right? But you completely ditched the idea of giving these things designs that match their actions. Would you have any idea what this plant's purpose is from design alone? Chomper maybe? Potentially a squash? No, that's the walnut. There is 0 chance you'd figure that out without the game telling you. But yeah, the plant designs don't make sense for any of them. It feels like the artist just tried to draw something they thought was cool and maybe colored it blue if there was ice involved. The game gives you a guy who shoots 3 peas but costs the same as a repeater, then gives you a 3-peater that actually is just a more expensive version of the same thing. Cool. And there's only 5 zombies in all 40 levels of the game, so get used to seeing them a lot. For one small moment, I decided I'd actually play all 40 levels, but by the time I made it to the water area and I thought about the 8 sequels I have to play yet, I immediately closed out the game and started up Plants vs. Goblins 2. What a beautiful menu screen. Already, I'm hooked. I was jokingly going to say this was based on PvZ 2 now, but it actually kinda is. They got plant food here and a 2x speed button and tons of scummy microtransactions. Yippee! Yes! Yeah, this game has a live system for some reason and it takes 2 hours to get another life. Your lawnmowers don't respawn, so you have to buy new ones. And you only get a limited amount of plant food and potions. A cool idea that lets you upgrade a plant of your choice. It's the one fun idea this game has. But it ends up being pretty pointless because as far as I've seen, this is about as many plants as you can unlock in the game. But we're getting way ahead of ourselves. I skipped right past the incredible tutorial. The first game just assumed you knew how to play, but now we're actually being taught. Let's read along here. Collect more stars to grow more plant. Got it? Goblins are coming! Don't let them pass through the gate behind. It will dangerous for human life. I have a human life. I better stop these goblins. It's so strange that they redesigned the pea shooter to this weird pinecone creature, especially when the sunflower is still the same. There's a ton more goblin variation in this one, including these pogo zombie knockoffs that I don't really know how to stop without wasting some plant food. I tried everything. This sequel, as a whole, just has a lot more going for it, and even just the inclusion of a fast forward button makes it infinitely more enjoyable. They even got iZombie in this thing, or I guess iGoblin. But this is an improvement in quality for me, so let's hope that trend continues. Unsurprisingly, the third game is not based on PvZ 3, which is probably a good thing. In fact, I'm not sure what this game is based on, but it's certainly not any Plants vs. Zombies game I've ever played. You start out with a sunflower, who's just dual-wielding pistols. The cactus looks more like a VeggieTales character than a PvZ one. As far as I can tell, there's only 3 lanes to play on here. You can either have an army of plants or upgrade single ones. But it's so expensive, you typically have to wait until the end of every round to start upgrading. This game is hard, man. I kept dying on like level 6. The big 10 brutes are so fast and so strong, my shotgun-wielding tomato will barely survive his attack. There's not really a whole lot of strategy here, to be honest. There's just goblin spam up until the end of the level. You can upgrade plant skills outside of the level, so at some point they might expect you to grind for XP, I guess. But otherwise, I'm not really sure how else I'm supposed to be playing here. I felt like I had a good thing going until all of my defensive cacti died at the exact same time. But the laser upgrade for the red flower guy is really good. It's still so funny to me that the plants are just holding guns. PvZ made a whole shooter game and never stooped that low. The art style isn't even similar here. Plants vs. Goblins 3 is an entirely different game, which makes it interesting, but does it make it good? Not really, no. It's probably the worst of the 3 so far. Covering all 9 of these at once is taking longer than I anticipated. I don't know why I thought this would be quicker. Let's cover 3 games at a time throughout this video, and by the end we'll do a little mini ranking and see how this series compares to each of its entries. But I need to take a little break from these ugly goblins. No offense, Shagrod. Next up is Plants vs. Zombies Home Defense, a browser game that actually looks pretty dang nice. These animations are smoother than the new plants that get added to PvZ 2 these days. It's pretty much PvZ as always, but there's only 1 lane. You can only have 4 plants, and Crazy Dave's decided to get in on the action. He's actually the most important part of the team, as you control his shots and he does way more damage than your plants. Anyways, to get more plants you have to open random loot boxes that take hours of waiting, but the thing I love about these browser games is I can simply change the time on my computer and open these puppies up immediately. I don't even have to reload the tab. So very quickly I unlocked every plant in the game and gave Crazy Dave a new gun. So from there, we started to see tougher waves of zombies, with gargantuars and flying scientists, and even a zomboss fight every 5 levels. Sadly, it's always the same dinosaur fight, but still, that's pretty cool. The plants all have different abilities and superpowers too. Bong Choi scared the shit out of me by just walking around and beating up zombies out on the battlefield. There's some Chinese ones in here too. And so the language is a bit weird, so I'd guess this game was made in China. For all I know, this thing's official, but I don't think so. It's pretty high quality compared to everything we've covered so far. Just a little bit of effort and animations and polished UI is literally all it takes to make a crappy knockoff feel legit. I have a hard time imagining any of the games will be better than this one for a change. It's easily the best and well-made knockoff I've covered yet, and I bet some of you out there might even have fun playing it yourselves. I was going to show the game Toys vs. Nightmares next because it's really good and I want people to see it before they get bored and click off this video, but it makes more sense to put it a little later on, so just know a really cool game is coming, and if you're bored of the video, at least give this game a chance before you leave. Anyways, back to some mobile game slop, it's Merge Plants Monster Defense time. Yes, those words were said in the correct order according to its title. If you've played any merging game before, then you know exactly what this is. You merge 2 plants together to make a bigger one, and then you merge the first 2 plants and then those 2 plants make a bigger one, and then you merge the first 2 plants and then those 2 plants and then the bigger 2 plants together to make an even bigger one. And it takes longer and longer to get further the longer you play, so you start watching ads to earn more rewards. You can finally unlock that level 10 plant that somehow looks worse than all the other plants that came before it. Now, besides that one sunflower design, nothing here really looks like Plants vs. Zombies, other than the fact that there are zombies attacking and you're merging plants. But this is actually a rip-off of a Chinese PvZ game, which is quite literally identical to this game in every way, except it's official and uses the PvZ characters. I've never played that game, so I don't know if it's any worse or better than this one, but man, if it's worse, that is impressive. The amount of ads you have to watch while playing is truly astounding, and the length of them too. I'll spend more time waiting for an ad to end than I will playing the damn game. And using the word playing here is quite the stretch, considering an auto-clicker could play this game just as well as I could. I actively despised having to play this game for as long as I did, making it the worst experience I've had in this video so far. And it will deservingly take the crown until we somehow find something worse. I'm just glad I got to level 12 because that gentlemanly Bellsprout is easily the best design I've seen in this whole game. As soon as I opened our next game, I noticed the loading screen plants looking a little familiar, and then the game started and I realized I just got tricked into playing the exact same game twice. Well, at least we don't have to recap how to play the game again. I will say, I like the plant designs in this game a lot better than the other one, but obviously in terms of gameplay, I don't like either of them. But the Merge Plants one was worse. Somehow the game called Flower vs. Zombie isn't the worst game on our list. I'm sick of fighting zombies and occasionally goblins. Let's play Plants vs. Aliens. And if that meant we were playing a Monsters vs. Aliens mobile game, I'd be ecstatic.
And she is everything I deserve in life. I'm happy now, Derek, without you. It's over.
Unfortunately not, but the alien designs do look exactly like if Bob and the Missing Link had children. The game starts out with a pretty epic intro screen. It might be kinda hard to read, so I'll save you the trouble. On December 21st, the Earth was invaded by aliens and no weapon in Earth can hurt them. Fortunately, you found a kind of plant which can kill those aliens, but it was unlucky that they attacked fiercely before you spread the secret. The destiny of Earth is up to you. Come on! The menu icons are one of the best parts of the game, by the way. This controller speeds up the game, this golden light preserver is the retry button, and Optimus Prime's head pauses the game. Now, I immediately clicked that controller and turned on 2x speed, but I was having a lot of trouble with these levels. This game has such a positive outlook on losing a level. It says, "Congratulations, you can play this level again." Sunflowers only earn 10 sun at a time, and I could never get more than 3 before I was overwhelmed with aliens. I stumbled through 3 whole levels before I finally understood what was wrong. Turns out everything gets sped up on 2x speed, except the sunflowers. So I was earning half my sun and somehow still beating these stages thanks to the eggplant crossbow lawnmowers. Finally, after a few rounds, I figured out the strat, so I'll share my knowledge with all of you. Focus on sunflowers until you have 2 full rows, and anytime there's an alien coming, just use potato mines. They are broken in this game because they cost less sun than anything else, insta-kill all aliens in a 3x3 area, and the best part, this game has no recharge timers. You can plant as many as you can afford. Once you have all your sunflowers, bring in the trusty piercing shooters, who deal damage to all aliens in a lane. Start building up your defense in every available square, and then sit back and let the magic happen. I did this about 10 times before getting bored and moving on, but this is a surefire way you could beat this entire game. And maybe you get stronger plans later on, who knows. I would love to know where the hell these alien designs come from. The more humanoid they are, the more horrified I become. But it certainly adds a funny layer of charm to this strange game. Oh, and the first 30 seconds of the intro music from Plants vs. Zombies is on loop for every single level and slowly started to drive me insane by the end of it, so I need to move on before I snap. It took forever, but I finally found a working version of Flower Zombie War. Great name, by the way. And as soon as I started playing it, I came to the horrifying realization. This is the exact same game as Plants vs. Goblins 2. I can't say for sure, but I believe Plants vs. Goblins just stole their game and changed all the graphics. Or these were just made by the same person, I guess. But come on, I was actually complimenting Plants vs. Goblins 2, saying how much better it was than the first and how it had unique stuff, but the whole time I should have been complimenting Flower Zombie War. I thought they worked on having the goblins lose their arms and armor over time, but no, they just stole it from this one. That's why they changed the pea shooter to the stupid pinecone guy, because this game has that weird pea shooter design, and they had to change everything. My theory is that they've been copying this game from the beginning, since some of the plants in the first game share designs from plants here. They made the Plantern into the star fruit for some reason, making it straight bullets shoot in a completely separate lane. That would explain why this has that Garten of Ban pea shooter in it. I don't even know what the origin of that design is truly from. Well, it's one thing to rip off PvZ, but to rip off a rip-off is going above and beyond. That is true desperation. I think I gotta lower Plants vs. Goblins 2 on our rankings now, because the one glaring difference that I haven't mentioned yet is that they added an energy system to that game. That is the singular gameplay difference. I have to wonder how many carbon copies we'll see through the rest of this. I've got a lot more games to play yet. If anyone's gonna copy, I guess PvG would be the most likely though. So let's find out, jumping into Plants vs. Goblins 4. We're back to basics with a whole new set of plant designs that, of course, aren't actually new in any way and are all carbon copies of regular Plants vs. Zombies plants, except for the 3D TNT stick. This is the one unique thing in the whole game because it blows up when zombies eat it, so it's not a cherry bomb. Anyways, they're going very abstract now. Strawberries are sunflowers, pomegranates are pea shooters. Some of these definitely are plants, but I'm really not even able to guess what they're supposed to be. This one blue dandelion looking thing is OP. It kills zombies in a couple hits and I've never seen one die. In terms of gameplay, well, it's certainly a Plants vs. Zombies game, although it is the slowest Plants vs. Zombies game I've ever played. Jeez Louise, these goblins like to take their sweet old time. There was one saving grace that kept me entertained while I played. Take a listen.
Maluka, nabisa
These goblins have a lot to say, and the way they speak always reminds me of one of my favorite clips. As far as Plants vs. Goblins games go, this one's very inoffensive. But by no way did I have fun playing it, and I could not possibly recommend it to anyone I consider an equal. So, you should definitely check it out. Plants vs. Goblins 5 is, yet again, just a complete redesign. They keep calling them Plants vs. Goblins when none of the characters are the same, and at this point, these look like freaking zombies to me. That is a zombified goblin if I've ever seen one. This is the first game out of the series that I find the designs to be somewhat endearing. The sunflower and pea shooter are almost cute. This flamethrower guy is crazy, and the potato is iconic. And I love the way the goblins break apart. A Lego character dying sound effect would fit perfectly, I bet. And thankfully this game is nowhere near as slow as the last one. The levels are way too long though. Level 2 took like 5 minutes. And the way you collect these stars is about as frustrating as it could possibly be. It's always unresponsive and you don't actually collect anything until the animation's finished. I only played 10 levels in the end and it straight up took an hour to do so. I only unlocked 6 plants in that time too. It's a time waster, but undoubtedly the best Plants vs. Goblins game we've seen yet. PvZ 6 has some big shoes to fill. Already, just looking at the cluttered background and UI design, I'm not too excited. But imagine my damn surprise when these creatures started barreling towards me. What the hell happened to the goblins? I did not expect to feel that level of terror playing a game called Plants vs. Goblins 6. This game is incredibly fast-paced compared to the last one, with each round lasting a minute or less. The monsters are in your face in seconds, but for some reason all our plants have a ton of defense, so it never really matters. And they've just completely gotten rid of recharge time on your plants, so all the smaller ones are completely useless to me. This right here proves why you need recharge times. Otherwise, spamming the best attacker makes every level just as easy as the last, even when the game goes from 3 lanes to 5. Thankfully, we unlock some new, more interesting plants very soon. I see they've gone back to the design philosophy of plants just holding guns again, but honestly, these designs are pretty cute. And the goblins are absolutely nightmare-inducing. And I gotta say, best game of the series, no competition. Plants vs. Goblins is only getting better, and now I'm excited to try the last 3. But first, we've got some other knockoffs to get through. So we'll move from Brainrot to actual Brainrot. We cannot possibly cover all of PvZ's knockoff universe without hopping onto Roblox. Don't worry, we'll only do it once, but it had to be done. Especially because this Plants vs. Brainrot experience is crazy popular, with 4.5 billion visits and 12,000 people actively playing it while I was recording. Oh sorry, did I say people? My bad. No human would actually spend time playing something like this. There's also Plants vs. Baddies, Plants vs. Noobs, and a bunch more that are, again, very popular with children. Basically, each player gets their own land and can buy plants to fight the oncoming waves of Brainrots. You actually want to kill and collect rare Brainrots, so you can farm them for money, so you can buy more plants to kill more Brainrots, and the endless evil and addicting cycle begins. If you weren't aware, this is all Roblox is these days. All the popular experiences are just big cycles of finding rare things and grinding for more money. Now, I spent about 20 minutes to find a pretty mediocre cast of Brainrots to earn money for me. I'm not proud of it. But thankfully, you can check out other players' collections too, and I could get some sweet footage of rare Brainrots without wasting any more of my own time. One of these subhumans in here has clearly spent months of their time or real life money to get a decked out set of plants and some of the rarest Brainrots I've ever seen. I'd pretend to be jealous, but let's be real. Only young and impressionable kids actually care about something like this. Now, I know all of you have typed in the comments about how you'd rather I cover Plants vs. Baddies instead, so fine, let's jump in there too. If you type the word baddies into Roblox, you're going to see pages upon pages of results. If any parents are watching, please, oh please, do not ever let your children play Roblox. Anyways, funny enough, it's exactly the same, but actually a little nicer looking. Beating up the baddies with my bat does feel a little morally strange. Before I was just whacking Brainrots. I collected Brazilian Miku before calling it a day there, but once again, there were others here that clearly spent more time on this than anyone ever reasonably should. I'd have to say this is the worst thing I've played so far, and I'm worried what we might find that's worse than this. I'm calling it right now, Toys vs. Nightmares will be the best game we play today. It is amazing, and if you like Plants vs. Zombies, you will love Toys vs. Nightmares. It was already a great sign that I had to go to Newgrounds to play it. The graphics are rough, as to be expected, but the art style is so charming I really don't even care. You play as a child, generating fantasy from storybooks to bring toys to life to fend off against the nightmares in your room. You start out with only a few lanes and some generic toys, but very quickly expands to a full 6 lanes. Every level you're unlocking brand new toys, and there are new monsters that do different things and change up the way you play, which is normal for most games, but for some reason these stupid knockoffs can't seem to grasp the concept. For once, I got to see new abilities from these toys with a new concept that PvZ never tried. For once, I was forced to try out new combinations of toys in order to beat the new enemy types. And for once, I genuinely had fun from start to finish and was sad when I beat the game. There's only 14 levels, but it doesn't feel short, and it's an appropriate length for the amount of toys and monsters you unlock. By the last level, I had just enough money to buy the remaining toys, and I just encountered the toughest enemy type. But let's backtrack a bit and look at some of the really cool additions to this game. Some of it is pretty straightforward. Red books became my immediate sun producer because it makes 100% at a time rather than 50. This green guy shoots and slows down enemies, the baby blows up like a cherry bomb, and this Lego tower is for defense. Like I said, the simple stuff. But then we start to get new enemy types. The werewolves are like pole vaulting zombies, witches shoot apples from the edge of the field to hurt your toys, vampires turn to bats and can only be killed by toys with catapults, and ghosts can only be killed by toys with light attacks. The final bosses are these boogeymen, who are like ghosts but much stronger and spawn little mini boogies when they bump into an enemy. All of these nightmares require you to bring in specific counters to them, and usually there's 2 or 3 plants to choose from, cheap options and expensive ones. Like you can use the miner to kill ghosts or this dollhouse that insta-kills them. These army men are really strong and can kill flying enemies. There's even kamikaze skeletons that you're supposed to use a 2-headed dinosaur to defeat. I am not even exaggerating when I say that every single level forced me to try out a new team of toys. Some became mainstays, but they forced you to try new things, and there were some really difficult levels. But if you learn early on to bring in red books only, you will always be flush with cash. I almost forgot, there's never a moment of calm in this game either, because if you tap repeatedly on the books, you can generate sun faster. Such a great concept for one of these games, making each round that much more hectic and always keeping your attention on something from beginning to end. It's not better than PvZ, but that's okay, because this is no ripoff. This game was inspired by Plants vs. Zombies, and it made its own identity. They worked hard to create something new and fun, and if anything tops this moving forward, I will eat my shoe. I'm guessing Angry Plants Flower isn't gonna get quite the same level of praise here, and no. Are you kidding me? I'd recognize that Peter Griffin walnut anywhere. Plants vs. Goblins has yet again stolen another goddamn game, and I fell for it, again. Plants vs. Goblins has become my arch nemesis at this point. I'm basically shaking my fist in the air and gritting my teeth while being forced to play this shitty game again. And what's worse is this was a really slow game. Playing 5 levels is gonna take like 40 minutes. Once again, somehow Plants vs. Goblins made their game worse than the one they stole. This one has dino zombies, and the sunflower has a better design, and that 3D TNT thing they had is one of the best knockout plant designs I've seen. The corn snake, perfect. This pea pod thing, well, that's not so great. And is that? There's no freaking way, dude. Heimlich from A Bug's Life is a goddamn enemy. This game's too good to be true.
Just leave them alone, they have poo-poo hands!
Then again, when you beat a stage, it makes you watch an ad, and when that's done, it makes you watch the same ad another time before you can play the next level. But it's not like Plants vs. Goblins didn't do that too. Once again, we have to lower a Plants vs. Goblins placement for copying someone else and making the game worse as a result, and we'll put Angry Plants Flower where it was instead. Oh god, no, this game is also called Angry Plants. Please tell me you're different. Well, from this beautiful title screen, there's already a good sign. Wait a minute. No, you have to be joking! Plants vs. Goblins! They can't keep getting away with it! So, to be fair, if any of them are going to turn out to be stolen, this one makes the most sense. There weren't even goblins. The way they traced over all this shit was so poorly done, I'm mad that I wasn't harsh enough on that game when I played it. Because the art style here is actually its defining feature. The plants are so much more detailed and edgy than any of the other knockoffs. Since Plants vs. Zombies is typically pretty bright and cute, most copycats follow suit. But Angry Plants game actually tried something different for once, and I really like the plant designs. And the fact that every level ends with a gospel saying, "Hallelujah, my brothers and sisters."
Hallelujah, brothers
Well, I promise you that is real, and it made me laugh every single goddamn time. Also, I swear to God, I did not include all these games in a specific order on purpose. I scrolled through lists of knockoffs and added everything I found in a pretty random order, and I'm playing them in that order. I'm discovering the debauchery of Plants vs. Goblins in real time alongside all of you. At this point, I am convinced every single one of those games are stolen, and the only ones I don't find the original version for is probably one I just haven't discovered yet. Once more, replace the Plants vs. Goblins placement with the real game instead. We've got our one and only console game to try, Zombie Garden vs. Plant Defense. Yes, defense is spelled incorrectly. I had to pay $5 for this shit-ass game, so please, if you like the videos I make, consider supporting me on Patreon or becoming a channel member. Thank you! Anyways, this game's not so bad. Definitely not as bad as I expected. It's a glorified Roblox game, essentially. You have workers earning you water and wood, which you need to grow new plants. You start with a level 1 attacker and can choose which plant to upgrade it to when you have enough resources. Maybe you need defense, maybe you need some slowdown, you get to choose. You make money from killing zombies, which you can use to buy more workers, meaning you can earn water and wood faster and make better and better plants. That's a gameplay loop, but the levels get harder each time. The first one is as simple as they get, and it's where I learned this game has 2 buttons, not just one. You can also swing your bat around to push back zombies, and they'll sometimes chase you instead of just eating your plants. Moving to level 2, now the zombies come from 2 directions. I felt unprepared, but I got some really good plants that made it completely automated for me. I just go pick up my pile of coins every once in a while and upgrade my workers over and over. Level 3, you guessed it, has a 3 pass, and barely any free plots of soil, you gotta buy those. It also threw like 3 new enemy types at me all at once, and suddenly all my plants were being ambushed. I made it as far as I could, but the zombie spam was unreal. I'm not sure I'm built for this game, but no worries, I played 3 out of the 5 levels here, $1 for 1 level I guess. Again, this could have been way worse, but it's not like I'm ever gonna come back and beat these last couple levels anytime soon. It's fine, and therefore pretty high on our list of ripoffs. My Switch 2 home screen is officially cursed now. Any franchise out there probably has a carbon copy of this clicker game they made for PvZ Fusion. But if they weren't so easy to make and so easy to get addicted to, they probably wouldn't be so many of them, right? So yeah, you click endlessly to level up your plant and find cool new fusions. And sometimes just completely normal PvZ plants. As you earn sun, you can buy upgrades to earn more sun faster to make even more per second. Usually I feel like these upgrades do a bit more though, right? Because the only reason to upgrade your sun output is to earn more sun. But the sun doesn't do anything. Only clicking upgrades your plant, so it doesn't even matter how much sun I have. It's a completely pointless number counter. But, I mean, even a good clicker game would still just be a damn clicker game. I played all the way up to level 20 by the way, probably a good half an hour of my life was sunk into this thing. The gap between the Sunny Brother and the Angry Zucchini was brutal by the way, there was no balancing there whatsoever. Also yes, the squash is apparently an Angry Zucchini now. I just let the game running while I typed this out and then went back and claimed the final upgrades here, and again, it is pointless to do so, there's no goal here, I just make a lot of sun now for zero reason. Even in terms of clicker games, this is pretty dang terrible, but I guess it's not the worst thing we played today. So I immediately recognized the pea shooter from our next game, Mutated Plant Super Skill, because it shows up in the thumbnail that everyone who watches my channel loves to also watch apparently. But this is a PvZ Fusion game. Is it a good one? So far, not really, no. But all fusion games are already innately interesting to me. We start out with just pea shooters and walnuts and spikeweeds, the walnut easily having the best design of the 3. If you get multiple, you can fuse them together to make better plants, or make a durian by combining the nut and the spikeweed. I was feeling pretty confident through the first 4 levels, but all these zombies clump onto the same space, so I never know how many more need to die before I can move on with my life. These newspaper zombies froze in place and generally took like 3 minutes to kill all of them, just standing still, not even eating the durian. Level 5 was more the same, until Zombosh just appears. Yeah, that's cool, I'm only 5 levels into this damn thing. My pea shooter wasn't even touching him, it seemed hopeless. So I backed out and watched an ad for an OP watermelon because this game is unashamed to be completely pay to win. And we beat Zombosh without even breaking a sweat. So I quickly realized I'm not going to play long enough to actually unlock all the cool fusions, so I might as well just watch an ad before every level so we can see some of them. Check out this crazy 5-headed dragon plant. I don't get to choose where it's planted though, so it ended up being useless for most of the level. And then when he did become useful, yeah, this game can suck my ass, dude. The power-up plant isn't even good enough to beat the stage, and we're only 6 levels in. So I watched some ads to unlock Torchwood, and with him, you can make a damn golem when he combines with walnuts. Was this good enough to beat the level? No, of course it wasn't. I mean, I must be doing something wrong, right? What is this game? Apparently the answer was durians. The newspaper zombie seems to break when they interact with it. At least I can move on now, jeez. I just want to get to the point where the lawn opens past a single lane, but maybe that's all this game is. I don't know. The designs are kind of charming. There's some fun fusions in the list here that lets me scroll through, like this explosive lolly. Wait, what? Finally some insane David guy came in to help me out for once. He was here the whole time and he's only now helping? Then I got this ice queen lady, and now I love this game for some reason. I'm only joking. It never expanded past one lane, and while it's cool that there's so many unique zombies and zomboss fights, I don't like or understand this game. It's probably one of the better games, unfortunately, but whatever. Let's play our last 3 Plants vs. Goblins games now. PvZ 7 is once again a completely new game, and once again, almost certainly stolen. It's basically a horizontal version of those other merge games we played, which for a Plants vs. Zombies clone makes way more sense. It's also using the same plant designs we've seen from this series for the last couple entries. Basically, you need to make enough money to buy expensive troops to fight the oncoming waves of goblins. You can merge a bunch of cheap ones or just save up and buy the best ones. Losing a level really doesn't matter, you're almost supposed to lose. You keep all your stuff but restart the stage, so you can earn more money and get the appropriate amount of troops needed to beat the level. After each level you start over, but with a wad of cash you can quickly get back to the same level of action, since every level is going to get harder and harder. I definitely enjoyed this one the most out of all the Plants vs. Goblins games I played, and we haven't found its original version yet, so I can still hold out hope it's original. It's not, but let me dream. I like the progression, it's not too hard, and it feels like there's a bit of skill and challenge when it comes to how you play. Apparently the merging max is at level 10 for some reason, so I have no drive to play any further. How there are only 10 plants is crazy, but whatever, I was gonna move on anyways. Plants vs. Goblins 8 is just an underwater version of Plants vs. Goblins 2, which was stolen from Flower Zombie War. They've gotten so lazy now they are ripping off their own ripoff of a ripoff. It is insulting that I'm playing this game for the 3rd time now. And the yellow background makes it really hard to see the sun drops. Is anything better about this one? If you like underwater plants and fish people instead of goblins, then sure, I guess it's good. Undoubtedly these are the most inspired plant designs in the entire series. And that Marlin lawnmower is pretty great. It looks like if that guy that says "No Mario" in that one meme got turned to a fish. But I am so over this series, dude. I can't even be surprised anymore. Of course they ripped off their own game. It's the one thing they hadn't done yet. Thankfully, we have just one last game in the series, Plants vs. Goblins 9. Titled Mars Expeditions, with kind of a cool menu screen, and apparently there's multiple worlds. This is unprecedented for the series. It lets you start levels without selecting plants, so I restarted and played the very basic tutorial of PvZ for like, what, the 15th time today? The plants are pretty cute in this one. This has to be the most appealing art style in all of Plants vs. Goblins. It's generic, but that beats out all the crappy stuff that came before it. I kept having the feeling that it was eerily similar to another game I played today, but I couldn't pinpoint it. More than likely this game is just so generic that any other PvZ clone is going to feel exactly the same. I played 12 levels and I only saw 4 goblin variations. Every single level is beaten exactly the same way. We got new plants now and again, but all I needed were pea shooters, and the goblins never even got close to me. And they spawn on a timer, so there's just long stretches of nothing happening. There's been highs and lows throughout the Plants vs. Goblins series, so of course, we're gonna end right in the middle for one of the most boring games in the goddamn video. Figures. Well, at least that means our mini PvG rankings are complete now, and we have the best game, Plants vs. Goblins 7, and the worst game, Plants vs. Goblins 3. To be honest, at least 5 of these are equally terrible, and then a couple of them are fine, so these 2 games were really the only outliers because I hated one and somewhat enjoyed the other. Moral of the story, TLDL, don't ever play these copycat loser boring ass games. Ever! I have no rhyme or reason why I saved Zombie Harvest for last, but we'll find out together whether that was a good choice or not. Turns out, this is like nothing we played before. You start out thrown right into the middle of battle, and it shows you how to switch between your 3 plants, and how they each have different abilities. Then you canonically lose the fight and get split up from the rest of your team, slowly unlocking them through the next few levels. I love how much variety there is between stages too. Sometimes all you're doing is defending, while other times there's a boss, or a crate with your friend trapped inside, and the enemies will spawn forever until you beat it. Then there's stages where you need to let carrots run past you but stopping the enemies. And even these plain levels where you drop bombs on the zombies. But that's all I saw, and there's definitely more after that still. Maybe there's unlockable plants? There's definitely more zombie types in here, and I've yet to beat the final boss, this big pig dude. He's a coward, he ran away during our fight, so I gotta rematch him for round 2. This game is really old and, to be honest, might not even be inspired by Plants vs. Zombies. I mean, the only similarity is that there's plants and zombies here. None of the characters look the same, the gameplay I guess is tower defense, but worked completely differently, and there's so many levels I couldn't even think about trying to beat this whole game. If it was an hour long, I'd do it because this is actually fun. But let's end on a good note. Go download Zombie Harvest. It's free and there's no ads. And it's a great time with a cute art style, and it's definitely not the worst game in our video. It's almost the best even. Which means we finished all our games, and the worst of the worst is none other than the Roblox game Plants vs. Brainrot. Plants vs. Goblins gave them a run for their money, but I was never more miserable while working on this video than when I was whacking these shitty Brainrot characters while my plants did measly damage to them, all just to earn a pitiful amount of in-game currency so I could keep playing this game I hated having to play from the start. But I'm glad we had some generally good games in here. Color me impressed. Well, what did we learn today? Did we learn something? I already knew Plants vs. Zombies had a ton of horrible knockoffs and copycats. I already knew Roblox sucks ass. I already knew the only good games here would be inspired by Plants vs. Zombies and not directly stealing it. But I did stumble upon a knockoff conspiracy thanks to Plants vs. Goblins, so that was fun. And I learned that half of these games could just be up on the App Store without any sort of legal problems. But most importantly, I think I learned that I need to appreciate the real Plants vs. Zombies games a bit more. Even when PvZ's creators are constantly sabotaging their own series and actually making the games we love worse, none of them will ever be as bad as the games we've covered today. And I need to learn to never take that for granted again. Of course, there are more games out there I missed. I know that for a fact, and you all know it too. I tried to cover the most memorable or easily accessible ones out there today, and also cover as many facets of the PvZ Knock-Offs universe as I possibly could. And if for some reason you'd all like for me to cover more, well, let me know what games I missed in the comments, and we shall see. I will not willingly torture myself for your entertainment again, unless you ask very, very nicely. Also consider joining my Patreon or becoming a channel member like Patrick Barajan, Keep, Jeff the Legend, Callum Ford, Pearlskill Benenner, Timur Kurinov, Aaron the Ghoul, Freakish Smile, Geminat Lewis, Dante, MGR Damadan, Einar Jar, Jonathan Biscoff, OK, Sleepy Boy 74, Kirby Fan Real 1992, Green Man Yeah, Skibbity, Alice Wilson, Macdax 2, Lavatan Chillin, Purple Man 932, LT Dan Ice Cream, and welcome back Test Monkey. I wonder what franchise has the most knockouts ever made. Mario is an obvious one, maybe Minecraft or Sonic or something, but Plants vs. Zombies has gotta be up there, right? In terms of mobile game series, I can't think of any that would have more than this. I've always said you've made a successful franchise in life if they get Rule 34 made of them, but the new goal for all creators is to have a game so good that people straight up steal it. Now that is an honor.